Johnny Dollar.
Well, at long last.
What?
I say it's high time.
It is, huh?
Well, isn't it?
I don't know. High time.
Oh, no, I guess I